are going to reassemble the G-Force Arms GFP3 shotgun. And we're going to start here in the trigger group. It literally just slides in like that, and then you want to make sure you get these holes down here lined up. Put your first dowel pin in. Ooh. Sometimes you just need to just tap it in, and just kind of go on in. Now what we've known from this last video showing this gun off is that with this one dowel pin, it doesn't like to stay in very well. Now we're having a little bit of trouble lining up, but look, just like that it goes on in. Pretty simple. Now you're gonna get your hand guard here for the shotgun. Get it right there on the track. Now the little hole here, the action, and it slides on right there. Flip her over. Now you want to see there's a little track here for these two slots to go into, and they just slide in just like that. And you want to make sure get that on and over before sliding this on there, because you won't be able to. And this just slides on in, line it up with the hole, and you line these two tracks up together. Yep, there that dowel rod fell out again. Dowel pin. And if the trigger went forward, you just got to depress it. Everything should slide back. Now you also want to have about a quarter of the way forward, or halfway, so you can get your barrel in. Goes in at this angle. Now this will slide back. The only thing else you need to do, screw this back on. Do a little function check. When you're good to go, you can either flip on your buttstock, or you can put the pistol grip on. For the sake of the video, we're going to put the pistol grip back on. And we'll just go on like that, and you can cut it in here in a second. But we'll just screw that on. Cut it. So now for this last part, we're going to be putting the pistol grip on. Now you are going to need a 7/32 hex head bit. Looks something like that. It'll fit right onto this into the screw. Now, pistol grip goes right in, fits right over that, and it covers up your trigger guard and your trigger assembly. So when you're disassembling and reassembling, this has got to be the last thing to put on before you put your trigger guard on. Now, we'll just pop that in there. We are good to go. Now you have fully reassembled your G-Force Arms GFP3 pump action 12 gauge shotgun. All right, today on Objective Offense, we are going to be spray painting our G-Force Arms GFP3 12 gauge shotgun. Now, I know you can see that we already taped everything up. We figured it'd be pretty boring just to watch us tape everything. So we taped the chamber and the bolt so no paint gets in there and messes anything up. We taped the feed lever, and we also taped the trigger and trigger pack in here so no spray gets up in there and jams the trigger up. You got a nice little tiger stripe pattern, and then just a X'd out eyes, smiley face, down just for fun. But we were going to add that to the video, but we figured it'd be too boring. If you want to see the video of us taping this up, well, that's too bad. We didn't film it. So the first thing we are going to do is get a nice layer of this Rust-Oleum camouflage paint. It's a lot darker. It's a flat earth brown. You see it a lot. Think of more like the Scar, but I think this one will be a lot darker than that one. That one's more of like a tan color. So we're just gonna get a nice layer on here. Shake this up. Always shake up your paint cans before you start spraying. And you won't get paint out. It'll be more of the, I think it's aerosol. There we go. That's better. You just want to get a nice thick layer. Get that all over the place. And you kind of got to do this in sections because you don't want the paint to bleed out and you don't want to spray one whole side and then it not dry and then it comes off on the spot you were spraying on. So I'm going to spray as much as we can before we got to let this dry. Now, say that looks pretty good for now. Put that on everything. I think we're gonna let that set, let that dry till we can film again. Now the other side. Pretty good. And that's where we're at for right now. Looks like a big old chocolate bar. A chalk gun.
Proud of yourself?
Alright, next we're going to be going over with some spruce green. Now we took some willow tree branches. We wrapped it around to get more like a vine look to it. And we kind of tucked it, crossed it, just to give a nice little look. And then we also took a smaller one that we're going to overlay as I go over it all, just to break up the silhouette of the shotgun. I'm going to start at the top and just give it a make sure you shake it up too. Can't always need to give it a shake, especially when it's sitting a while. I'm going to do it real light, do it a little bit of distance away so you can actually catch the pattern you're trying to make. Because if not, you're just going to have a lot of blobs. Alright, now we're going to let that dry and see how we like it for right now. And we'll get you on the next color. So next we're going to be going over in a Chardonnay red. Give it more like a black turn look. No expert, but it sounds cool. Now I'm just going to push this maple leaf right on there and see if I can imprint it with the spray. Oh, that's really good. We got a little bit. I don't really like the way that's looking. I have to get a. It's really red, but it's greatest looking. But you can kind of see where it's going with this. Now, hopefully, when it dries, it won't be as bright. And as it starts to fade and age up, it's going to kind of get a little more rusty looking. It'll blend into it better. It's actually getting foliage. I'll just pop a little bit over here on each side. Puffs of red here and there. We might let this dry and then go over a little more with green, that lighter green, but I think we're looking pretty good for right now. Yeah, now while we were spray painting, we came up with a nice little idea. Since this red is so bright, we decided to spray it here on just a piece of paper, build up a lot of spray, and then just drip it over. We get little paint drips that go down it, and it gives it a nice little splatter look to it. We figured it looked pretty raw. We might as well throw in there. We might test it out with some of the other colors, but this red looks really sick. I think we're going to keep it the way it is for now. And once it dries, we'll unwrap everything and see how the final look is. But that was just an update we figured we'd throw in here, just for our favorite viewers. And now it has only taken about 5-10 seconds for you guys. It's taken us about a couple days, 2 at max, just to have everything dry. It's a little flaky and kind of rough in some spots, but I think that just adds to the character of the shotgun. But we decided to go with a little tiger stripe design that kind of looks like a tally, and then just a simple fun smiley face, just for the lulz. But you can see the detail going down it. Just little bits of the vine coming through. The maple leaf is coming real strong right here, and just little bits of paint drip to kind of break up the silhouette of the shotgun better. And then eventually, once we get done filming the pistol grip portion of the shotgun, we are going to be returned back to the regular stock. I've not been the biggest fan of pistol grip shotguns, and I don't recommend shooting them out like this. This is more of a tucked in shooter, especially with it being 12 gauge. Now 410, 20 gauge, you can get away with, but eventually you're going to start feeling it right there on this pad of your hand. It's going to start wearing you out. Unless you're Kentucky Ballistic, that dude can do anything. But I think we did an amazing job for our first time painting a firearm of any kind. Now, we're not saying we're the end-all be-all, this is the best way to do it, but this is just a way to do it. And, I mean, it's your firearm, so you do whatever you feel comfortable with. And just have fun with it. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a firearm. It's gonna get roughed up. The paint's gonna scratch eventually. These aren't safe cleans. You actually got to use them. But yeah, just enjoy it. Make your own designs. And hopefully we'll get more painting content here in the future.